Hello, word nerds, and welcome to the dictionary. My name is Spencer, and this is episode F56. I am standing again because, of course, my back, my hip, my all this lower stupid stuff is hurting again, and sitting is not good, so I'm gonna stand again. But this time I raised the camera up, and so it's not so much me looking down at the camera. You're just getting a good eye view. I mean, I do have to look down to look at the book sometimes, but hey, that's only if you're watching this on YouTube, which I think you should do. Go watch it on YouTube. But if you don't like seeing me, then you can also just listen to this podcast. This podcast full of words, so many words. Let's talk about the words. The first word in this episode is the fourth form of the word fell, F-E-L-L. It's an adjective from the 14th century. I wish I had the book closer. If I could have it like right here, that would be great. Maybe here, because right here, I don't have a thing that can put it right there. Oh well. So, 1A for the adjective, fourth form of fell. 1A, the synonyms are fierce, cruel, and terrible. Fierce, cruel, terrible. Well, I am aware of what those words mean, and I don't think I've ever heard fell used in place of them. He is so fierce when he's beating the puppies. Cruel is better there. Terrible too. He's fell? Yeah, this is an old one for me. 1B, the synonyms are sinister and malevolent. Malevolent, as in, we have an example, a fell purpose. A fell purpose is sinister, malevolent, evil, evildoers doing evil. A fell purpose. Okay, yeah, this is so not aware. I'm so not aware of this usage of this word. 1C, very destructive, and the synonym is deadly, as in a fell disease. I could also think of like a fell tornado, hurricane, earthquake, tsunami. All of those things are very deadly sometimes, and so they would be a fell, blah, 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 fill in the blank, whatever it is. But yeah, so I guess the idea here is that it fells things, it makes bodies fall down dead, at least in this context, maybe. Number 2 is Scottish, and the synonyms are sharp and pungent. Whew! When I took off my shoes, I had a fell smell. It does not say any more about that one, so I assume we're maybe talking about cheese, possibly. The cheese is fell. Ooh, that is some fell cheese. It's so deadly, it's making me fall down unconscious. It is so terrible and cruel, that cheese. Fellness is a noun, and felly, that is an adverb. Felly, something done terribly, cruelly, done in a deadly way is felly. But this is very new to me. The only thing that I'm seeing in the etymology that's worth of note is that it says there's more at the word felon, F-E-L-O-N, which will be in the next episode. Interesting. So fell, the adjective, and felon are related. It's been many days since I recorded last because I was out of town for work for like a week. And so I'm trying to see, I'm looking at the previous ones. Nope, there's no other adjectives. But we do have one more form of the word fell. And I quickly got to look at the upcoming words to see if there's a sound effect I want to make. I didn't look at it before. I'm gonna go blue, 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 blue. The fifth form of fell is a noun from the 14th century. It's a British dialect, so I will probably also not be familiar with this one. And it is a high, barren field or moor. So a high field that is barren, that has nothing on it, no life, or maybe just a little bit, maybe just grass. That's what it is. It's a fell, or it's also a moor. I'm not thinking of what a moor is. I want to say it's a swamp, but I don't know if that's true. But they call it a fell. Is there etymology? Yes, it is from the Old Norse fell or fjall. that a J, I think? Fjall? That means mountain. Akin to the Old High German Fels, which means rock. Rock. So, yeah, maybe like at the top of a mountain where all the rocks they called it a fell. It's just a high barren field or moor. Brom, 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 brom. Next we have fella. What's up, fella? How you doing? Fella. I feel like this is, I mean, people still say fella, but it's a little old. This is a noun from 1816. The synonyms are fellow and man. Fellow is coming up here. Yeah, just a person. Well, ooh, wow, I made the camera shake accidentally because I kicked it with my foot. That was funny. Let's leave that in. So if I think they just shorten fellow to fella because it just comes off, it rolls off the tongue so much easier. Fella. What's up, fella? How you doing? Let's go grab a beer, man. All right, let's now talk about the next word. Brum, 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 brum. It is fella again, or you can say fella. You can emphasize that syllable because we have now added an H to fella. There's an H at the end. Fella. Noun from 1743. This is a peasant or agricultural laborer in an Arab country like Egypt. That is an example of one of the Arab countries where you might find a fellah. So it seems like fellah, that pronunciation would be more accurate, but I don't know Arabic, like, at all. So I don't know. But that's what they are. They are a peasant or somebody who is working in the farms, specifically in an Arab area where they are speaking Arabic. So I think this probably is an Arabic word. Let's look at the etymology. Let's see. Yep, it's just the Arabic word falah, spelled almost the same way. The plural, by the way. You can't just say fellas or fellas. Hey, fellas. No. You have to say either felahin or what's the other, or felahin. Yeah. Or no, sorry. It's felahin or felahin. Well, you're emphasizing hin mostly in both versions. The first version, you're emphasizing felahin. It's sort of hard to do, felahin. Or the next one, they're getting more emphasized as you go, felahin. That's the plural. Okay. Now we are getting into a little bit of an adult section, but that's okay, because we're all adults here, even if you are children. By the way, I have not said this for a while, but I think that this podcast is probably best for kids. I am basically an old child, an old kid. I have the vocabulary of probably a 12-year-old, and I think just sort of the aura, the energy, the knowledge, the silliness is probably better meant for young people or old people who are also very immature like myself. But, you know, it's important for young people to learn all the stuff. That's why we got dictionaries, so you can just learn all the stuff here. And that's why this podcast exists, so I can tell you the dictionary if you don't have time to read it yourself. So that being said, this next section is a little adult, but we all got to learn sometime, right? Right. Okay, so the next word, boom, 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 it is fellate. Fellate. Or fellate. You can emphasize either syllable. F-E-L-L-A-T-E. This is a verb from 1941, and it means, transitive. That's where we're starting. To perform fellatio on. That is the definition for the transitive of fellate. Performing fellatio on something, you are fellating it. You may be saying, but I don't know what fellatio is. I don't even know how to spell fellatio. Won't you tell me? Well, I will if you just wait a second, because we also have the intransitive definition, which is to fellate someone, but I feel like there's no difference between the intransitive and the transitive. To perform fellatio on or to fillet someone, in my mind, seems like the exact same thing, and I don't understand that. And if you understand the difference of why one is intransitive and the other is transitive, please email me, call the Google Voice, whatever way you want to get in contact with me. It's all in the show notes. Please tell me, because I'm confused by that. Filator. Filator is a noun, and of course, because when I see examples like this, I am required by my own law to say I think that would be funny as a superhero or villain name in a comic book. The Filator. That's a very adult comic book. So let's look at the etymology. Oh, it's just from fellatio, which now we will talk about that one. Boom, 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 boom. Fellatio. It could also just be fellation. I did not know that. Fellation. So the main word is spelled Fellatio, but you pronounce it fellatio or fellation with an N. You just put an N at the end, I guess. So this is a noun from circa 1893. 1893. And then the action verb, fellate, was from 1941, like 50 years later. This means oral stimulation of the penis, putting the mouth, the tongue, maybe the teeth, but hopefully not, onto someone else's penis. And stimulate, that's the word stimulation is in there, stimulating it with those pieces of your mouth, or their mouth, whatever the situation is. And that's the action. There are no synonyms, but one that people say a lot is blowjob. That is a synonym for fellatio. Fellatio is more of the sort of proper scientific word for this action. But then, there's a whole bunch of other terms like blowjob. That's the biggest one. Was that even in the dictionary? I feel like it wouldn't be. I can't remember. But we do have some etymology for fellatio. This is from the Latin fellare, with one L or two L's, which means literally to suck. Another sort of synonym phrase is suck on your dick, suck on the dick, suck on my dick, whatever way you want to mix up those words. Dick, suck. Boy, I should probably put the explicit logo on this one. There's more, by the way, at the word feminine, which is going to be in a couple of episodes, but, that looks like that's going to have some interesting information over there. So, if there's more at the word feminine, it makes me think that that's sort of where this came from. Typically, in our, history's weird, but overall, I guess you could say, on average, the majority of the people who are doing this action is a woman to a man. But that's like, I don't even know if we can even make that generalization, because back in the day, Greece times, everybody was all up on everybody, and these days we have evolved the definition of just gender in general. And so it's like, just you love who you love and hook up with whoever you want to hook up with. And so it's just interesting that the word comes from something related to feminine. Anyway, I think we are probably done with all of those adulty words. So we now are going to go boom, 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 boom. We now have fellmonger. Fellmonger. I don't know what this is. It is a noun from 1530. It's British, and it is one who removes hair or wool from hides in preparation for leather making. And let's look back, because was there something in the earlier... Oh, yeah, here we go. The first form of fell, which you probably just listened to yesterday or earlier today, if you're cool like that. It was all about the skin, the hide, the pelt, all that stuff. And so the one who is the monger working with it, they are the fellmonger. Fellmongered is an adjective. All these are British. Fellmongering is a noun. And fellmongery, that is a noun. Fellmonger. It's the job. The job of the fellmonger is the fellmongery. They are just working with dead animal skin all day long. Fellmongery. Yeah, it's just from the first form of the word fell. I don't know what monger means exactly. So I guess we just have to wait until the M's for that one. Boom, 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 boom. Next is fellow. It's not fella, it's fellow. Noun from before the 12th century. This is an old word. Number 1, synonyms are comrade and associate. That's it. Number 2A, an equal in rank, power, or character. And the synonym is peer. Just someone who's like the same as you. Ooh, a bump the mic. Someone who's the same as you in your life. They're the fellow. Number 2B, one of a pair, and the synonym is mate. So maybe we're talking about animals getting together, mating, probably not acting fellatio or doing fellatio, but they are doing the action to make the babies. And so I guess maybe in the sort of animal scientific world, they just call one of them the fellow? Possibly. I don't know. Never heard it. 3, a member of a group having common characteristics, specifically a member of an incorporated literary or scientific society. Ooh, that got some good information there. They're a member of a group, and these people in this group have common characteristics. That's why they're in this group. And so they are a member of an incorporated literary society or scientific society. So they are into the books or they are into the sciences, and that's their common characteristic. And so they're all fellows. Fellow has this male connotation, I feel like, but clearly in these other uses, it's not male, female, it doesn't matter at all. So, I think we got to get over that feeling of this word being male. Number 4A is obsolete, and it is a person of one of the lower social classes. A person of one of the lower social classes is called a fellow. Well, it is obsolete, which makes sense because I don't understand this one at all. Just one of the lower social classes? Like, what are we talking about? A specific culture? Like India has all of its classes, and other countries have, in America, we just have lower class, middle class, upper class, but we have, subversions of each of those. So were they calling people in the low class fellows? This is weird. 4B is archaic, so even older. A worthless man or boy. What? Well, I'm wondering if the etymology is going to have something to say about that, because that seems like maybe that was one of the first uses of this word. A worthless man or boy was a fellow. Woo! Glad we don't use it this way anymore. Although I'm going to sneak that in. I'm going to go up to somebody who's like a worthless man or a worthless boy, and I'm going to say, "Oh, you're such a fellow." And they're going to say, "Okay, we're peers in our scientific community?" And I'm going to say, "Yeah, that's totally what I was meaning." Okay, number 4C. This is not obsolete, not archaic. The synonyms are man or boy. So, yep, again, this is where we get this genderized thing. The idea of this genderized word is man or boy. It was worthless, and then luckily we got rid of the worthless part, and then it was just a man or a boy. And then it evolved and it became somebody of this group or something. Number 4D, synonyms are boyfriend and beau, and beau is spelled B-E-A-U, the Frenchy way. Boyfriend or beau. Oh, he's my boyfriend. My boyfriend's back and he's gonna beat you up. He's my fellow. Maybe might even say fella. He gave me his ring and I'm wearing his ring around my neck because he's my fellow. Number 5, an incorporated member of a college or collegiate foundation, especially in a British university. They are incorporated. They're an incorporated member of this college or this foundation through a college, typically in a British university. Well, it's not always British. I know American colleges have fellows. They bring in people and they're like, hey, we would like you to be a fellow to study and research and talk and do good stuff. I don't know what they are. Number 6, a person appointed to a position granting a stipend and allowing for advanced study or research. Well, that second one, number 6, is probably the one that I was talking about. They say, come here, we're going to give you some money, and we would like you to research your topic of interest for a very long time, and we'll give you a little bit of money, but you might have to get a second job, depending on the situation. Yep, and this has nothing to do with men or boys or being worthless or not. In fact, it's more of the opposite, that you are worthy. You are worthy of this position when you are a fellow. Let's see, anything else? Now we got to look at the etymology. That's where we're at. Looking at the etymology for fellow. Fellow. This comes from Old English fjolgasa, from Old Norse felagi, also felag, which means partnership, from fe or fi, just fe, which means cattle or money, plus lag, which means act of laying. So is the cattle laying down and then you make the, I don't understand this one. It's cattle and money plus active laying. And I don't know how to put those two together in my brain. Fellow. Okay. Well, that was some good stuff. Now we are going to go to fellow feeling. 2 words. Fellow feeling. Noun from 1686. A feeling of community of interest or of mutual understanding. A feeling of community of interest. So it's the feeling of being part of a community, having peers, people who are working together. You have this mutual understanding that you are all in this together, that you're part of this community, that you need to help each other. I like that. That's a good feeling. I'd never heard of this phrase before, fellow feeling. We are feeling like we're fellows because we are mates, we are peers, all that good stuff. And sorry I'm moving. I just, I don't want to like put too much weight on one side or the other, so it's just good to move around. Yeah. Anyway, maybe if we stand like this. Boom, 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 boom. Next, we have fellowly. Fellowly. Adjective from the 13th century. This is a fun-sounding word. Fellowly. The synonym is sociable. If you are feeling sociable, feeling like you want to go out and hang out with people and be a little bit of an extrovert maybe, then you would be feeling fellowly. You want to go out and be a fellow with your fellows. I'm feeling very fellowly tonight. I think I shall go to the pub and have a drink with my fellows. Fellowly is also an adverb. He went out to the pub fellowly, because he was a fellowly fellow. Bum, 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 bum. Next is fellow man. Noun from 1667. A kindred human being. Oh, first of all, I just like this phrase. A kindred human being. Kind is in there. They are a human. It says nothing about if they're a man or a woman or whatever. That's not in there at all. They're just a kindred human being, a kindred spirit. They are nice. They are good. They are helping their fellow people. I don't like the fact that man is in there, but that's just what we've been saying, I guess, for all these years. Fellow man. Help your fellow man. In that case, though, you don't know who the fellow man is. They may not. But kindred. Kindred is more, I think it's less about kind, and it's more about your kin. That's why it's kindred and not kindred. Your kin, your family, even though you may not be technically blood related, everybody is your kin. We are all in this together. That is 100% true. You cannot fact check me on that. So a kindred human being is one who is just another human being. That's really all it is. Your fellow man, your fellow people, your fellows. Let's go be fellowly. with our fellows. Next, bum, 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 bum. Fellow servant. Noun from 1900. An employee working with another employee under such circumstances that each one, if negligent, may expose the other to harm which the employer cannot reasonably be expected to guard against or be held legally liable for. Wow, that was a lot. Well, interesting. An employee working with another employee under such circumstances that each one is negligent, that if negligent, may expose the other to harm which the employer cannot reasonably expected to guard against. Now, okay, that's the part that I think that's confusing me, is that if you're employed by the employer, isn't the employer the one who has the control about whether or not these people are harmed or punished? That part's a little bit confusing to me. But basically, I guess the idea is, if you got to work together with your work partners, whether you're working at a business office thing or you are servants in a household, butler, maid, cook, whatever, or whatever situation, you are trying to help each other, because if one of them doesn't do a good job, then it might come down on the other person, the other servant, the other worker, employee. And so you got to help each other. You got to be fellows. So you're looking out for the other person. Don't be greedy. Don't be selfish. Help each other together. Okay. Fellow servant. Boom, 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 boom. The next word is fitting so perfectly with the shirt that I am wearing, so I really think that you should be watching the YouTube. And that was a total accident. I wore this shirt because I wanted to make a backwards short video, which I've been doing a lot of at the time of recording in October and November. And so when I was wearing the shirt, I recorded myself saying I should turn off that sound. I recorded myself saying in English the poem, the phrase written around the One Ring from Lord of the Rings. And I said it backwards, and so reverse it. It sounds normal, kind of. But anyway, this next word is fellowship. And just yesterday, I was on a plane, no, the day before that, and I finished watching some movies, and I had a little bit of time left, so I popped on The Fellowship of the Ring on the plane and watched through the point where they say, the fellowship, you shall be known as the Fellowship of the Ring. Okay, now let's talk about fellowship. Noun from before the 12th century. Number 1, companionship. Synonyms: companionship and company. You're all together. You're companions. You're in a company. You're trotting down the lane together. You're a fellowship. Number 2, community of interest, activity, feeling, or experience. The community of interest, activity, feeling, or experience is the fellowship. It's all about community. 2B, the state of being a fellow or associate. So this could maybe be a fellow servant. This could be the fellow at the British University, or the fellow who is getting a stipend to do research. They are in a fellowship. They have been given a fellowship because they are a fellow. 3, a company of equals or friends, and the synonym is association. Yes, a group of people who are equals, or maybe if they're not equals, they're friends. You can be friends and not equals. You can be equals and not friends. But either way, you are a fellowship. By the way, I don't think I said that this is the first form of fellowship. We got another one after this. Now, we have number 4. This is the quality or state of being comradely. I think that's how you say that word, comradely. You are acting like comrades, companions, friends, peers. The quality or state of being comradely. 5, obsolete. 5 is obsolete. The synonyms are membership and partnership. If you're in a partnership with somebody, you could also say fellowship. We are in a fellowship together at our law office. Number 6A, the position of a fellow as of a university. Yes, the fellow at the university has the position of fellowship. Toot toot, I'm driving my ship full of fellows. Bring the sail up. Howdy doody. Okay, and 6, I think we have a 6B. Oh, we have a 6C also. 6B is the stipend of a fellow. So the money that they get periodically is also called the fellowship. And 6C is a foundation for the providing of such a stipend. So the fellow is in a fellowship, and the money that they get is the fellowship, and the group that is giving them the position and the money is also the fellowship. I have a fellowship with a fellowship, and they give me a fellowship. Okay, that was all of those things. We have no etymology, so we're going to go bump, 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 bump. The second form of fellowship is a verb from the 14th century, starting with intransitive. To join in fellowship, especially with a church member. We'll just say transitive is to admit to fellowship as in a church. Well, we haven't seen anything that said anything about a church yet, but I guess that's where we're getting it here. So if you fellowship with people, you are joining them together. Well, you're equals, your friends, all of those things still work here. Okay, I think we are on the last one. Boom, 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 boom. Fellow traveler. 2 words. Noun from 1925. One definition, it looks like. A person who sympathizes with and often furthers the ideals and program of an organized group, as the Communist Party, without membership in the group or regular participation in its activities. But then we have broadly, a sympathetic supporter of another's cause. Fellow traveling is an adjective. That one has a hyphen. So, real quick, we will say that the etymology says, this is a translation of the Russian word papuchik. Papuchik. Okay, so this idea, this is not literally talking about people who are traveling, maybe hitchhiking, staying in hostels. We're not talking about that type of traveler. We are talking about, let's jump straight to the idea, the broadly idea, a sympathetic supporter of another's cause. Hey, that thing that you're fighting for, I think that's a really good idea. I maybe don't necessarily need it for my life, but I am willing to fight for it with you, alongside you. Let's go on this journey of fighting for this cause. Let's travel down that journey as fellows, together, equals. Fellow traveler. That's what it is. I guess I would be a fellow traveler for a number of groups of people who I am not a part of, but know that they need as much help as they can get. We know we need to fight for all these different causes. And so I would be their fellow traveler. But the main definition is more talking about the Communist Party. It's a very specific idea, I think, that came out of the Communist Party. What was that? Was that Karl Marx? Maybe, I don't remember exactly, but I'm just going to read it again in case you're curious. A person who sympathizes with and often furthers the ideals and program of an organized group, like the Communist Party, without membership in the group. They are not a part of the communist group, but they're still fighting for the communist group, or regular participation in its activities. They don't regularly participate in the 3-legged race that the Communist Party holds. They're not doing the egg throw that the communists do every year at the picnic. They are not part of the Communist Party group, but they are still fighting for their causes, whatever those are. Okay, now it is time to pick a word of the episode. Episodes have words, and one of them is the best. Let's pick a word, boop, doop, boop. Okay, today we had fell, fella, fellate, fellatio, fellmonger, fellow feeling, fellowly, fellow man, fellow servant, fellowship, and fellow traveler. Which one did I like the most? Let's see. Well, I don't like the idea of killing the animals and taking their skin and working with it, so I'm not going to pick fellmonger. Fellowly is a fun word to say. I mean, fellowship, it's hard not to pick that one because of the Lord of the Rings stuff. Let's see. Anything else? I mean, I think it is. I like the idea of the fellow man, just your kindred human being, but I don't enjoy the fact that it still says man. Fellow person, fellow human, fellow plam. Let's just pick fellowly as the word of the episode. I don't always feel fellowly, but sometimes I want to go out, hang out with people, meet new people, make some fellas in my life, and then have a fellowship. I'm being fellowly. Great. Okay, now I think it is time to pick... No, we're going to tell you a couple of movies. Departing Seniors. Oh, this was made in Chicago, which I didn't realize. And it's a fun kind of, if I'm remembering correctly, a little horror comedy kind of. Departing Seniors, that one was fun. And then we watched Speak No Evil. This was the new creepy kind of movie about a family who becomes friends with another family, and then not is all as it seems. Ooh, it was pretty fun. And I think it was made by, it's a remake, and possibly the same guy who made the first one made this one. I don't remember, but it's possible. Speak No Evil. Okay, that's it. That's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for checking me out, being my fellas. And until next time, this has been Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.